The Tigers' first road CAA game, even better than the Tigers' first home CAA game. The Tiger Lacrosse Report, presented by the Green Turtles, starts now.
For an athlete, there's nothing scarier than a torn ACL.
Athletes trust us with their care and their careers because we're a recognized leader in sports medicine.
Get back to your active life sooner with MedStar Sports Medicine.
Wise Market's ice cream plant is based in Sunbury, Pennsylvania, and it's locally owned and operated. We've been making our ice cream for nearly 50 years. We create roughly 70 flavors of ice cream right now. We use local ingredients, especially our cream, which is from our milk plant. The cream is what gives our ice cream a rich and creamy texture. Now, together with our customers, we've created a product called Peanut Butter Indulgence, which will be coming out this summer. It's a peanut butter ice cream with sea salt caramel swirl and chocolate-covered pretzel. How can you go wrong with that? Personally, I love our ice cream. If you come to our house at any given time, you'll find at least 5 packets of ice cream in our freezer. Our kids grew up eating Wise quality ice cream, and now we get to treat our grandchildren to it. It's been a pleasure for me to be tasting ice cream for over 40 years for Wise Markets, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Welcome to another edition of the Tiger Lacrosse Report. I'm your host, Spiro Morekas, along with the head coach of the Tigers, Shawn Nadelen. And coach, the Tigers traveled on the road in the CAA for the first time this year to go up to Fairfield, a series that in the 5 previous games, 4 of them have been decided by 1 or 2 goals. This one looked like it was going to be the same. 9 minutes into the game, nothing, and then all of a sudden you guys exploded for 5 goals in the final 6 minutes of the first quarter. What was the difference in the final 6 minutes as opposed to the first 9?
Can't tell you exactly what the difference was. I know we felt good going into the game. I know our guys were excited about it. We had a good practice the day before. I think it just took us a little while to get into a little bit of a rhythm, and get the offense going. Alex was doing a great job, facing off the entire game, and then once he got going after the first one and got into a rhythm, that just showed us what we could do when we had possession.
And then Brendan Sunday, his numbers had kind of slacked off a little bit over the last 3 or 4 weeks. He came up with a big game, but a huge goal to me was at the end of the first quarter, 2.5 seconds left, and Luke Frommert puts one in the back of the net. Yeah,
that was big for a couple different reasons. One, it's always good to score at the end of a quarter. That being the end of the half, get some momentum going in your favor. But they had just scored a couple goals, to make it 6-4. And if we go into halftime still at 6-4, or I don't want to say we're reeling, but we're still, we're not feeling as good as we should, especially with having that lead that we had, and they were able to come back. But that got it to 7-4. Let us kind of take a little bit of a deep breath going into halftime, knowing that we killed that penalty, got that goal at the end of the first half to be able to get some momentum back in our favor, and we just needed to play much cleaner. We got a little sloppy in that second quarter.
You mentioned Alex. He lost 2 faceoffs all day, 23 of 25. Was that his best performance, you think?
Talking to him at film, watching it afterwards, I thought that was one of his cleanest games he's had, and they threw everybody at him.
And coming into the game, they had a pretty good face-off winning percentage.
They did, and they had played 4 face-off guys, in previous games. So I kind of figured we'd see, 2 guys, to start out, but then when he was having the success, they threw more guys. I was just pleased with Alex, with his poise, his composure, his ability to stay focused on the rep, and his decision-making once he got the ball as well was very, very good. And they threw poles at him too, and that had been a little bit of his weakness in the past, but he did a great job, adjusting to that and playing smart.
Twice when the fast break comes down, hits Brendan Sunday on the left side, and Brendan just buries him both times.
Yeah, I think one was for our second goal of the game, then the other one was to make it 10-5. You know, they had just scored, and then off that next face-off, you know, we're right when they feel like they might be able to get something going, he comes down and shuts the door on them, which is great.
And because of his performance, Alex wins CAA Player of the Week.
Yeah, well-deserved.
Again.
Well-deserved, absolutely.
Another player who had a rough week last week, bounced back this week, Tyler Canto in the goal. He looked like his old self one Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, that's what you love to see. You know, that's what you love about sports. Hopefully, if you have a rough outing, you get a chance, you know, at another game, another opportunity soon after that. And it was great to see Tyler's response in practice, and then also, obviously, you know, really in the game and how well he played. He looked comfortable early. You know, he made a big save in their first transition look with a long pole coming down and shooting on him. Quick save, you know, immediate outlet. So I think that just got his confidence going back. And he was on the ball the entire game. He was playing very strong. Really stole, you know, watching the film again, stole probably 4 easy goals they should have had. You know, really good looks at the cage. We didn't play great defense on him at that with those shots. You know, and he stole full 4 off the board for him, and that obviously was a big piece for us.
The other thing that was good for you, you got to get some other guys into the game late because the score was pretty lopsided. First time in a while that you've had a game where there has been separation between the two schools.
Yeah, it's always good to, you know, obviously be able to play all the guys that work so hard in practice and get out there, you know, let them compete, let them get a taste of action, and, you know, they work hard, and, you know, obviously every game is very competitive, but you have an opportunity for that to get those guys out there and reward the effort. One
player that we haven't talked about is a freshman, Garrett Zangalia. He had a couple of tremendous ground balls for you on Saturday, and he looks like, as the season has gone on, he's getting better and better and better every week.
He is. Garrett was our #1 pole when we went into our fall scrimmages this past fall. He ended up getting really sick during mini-mester preseason, and he was out the entire time. So it's taken him a while to get his legs back underneath him, his feet back underneath him, his confidence back, and he's back to where we really saw him playing in the fall, and it's great. You know, he's long, he's got great IQ, he's really strong, you know, good player off the ground, good stick handling, which we saw in the game. So I think he's continuing to get more comfortable out there and playing, you know, playing well for us.
So with the victory on Saturday, the Tigers and the Blue Hens, the only 2 teams still undefeated in the CAA. Towson will take on UMass this Saturday at Johnny Unitas Stadium. Final regular season game of the year, so everyone come on out. Tune in later this week. The coach and I will talk about the game against the Minutemen as the Tigers take on UMass on Saturday at noon. So for the head coach of the Tigers, Shawn Nadelen, I'm Spiro Morekas. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Tiger Lacrosse Report brought to you by the Green Turtle. And as always, go Towson.